My name is Cydney Cochran. I'm 29, born and raised in Toronto. Um, a couple random things about me. I'm a huge nerd. I love cats, Batman, tattoos, and anything to do with the WWE. It's very random taste, but it's just who I am. Um, an independent film director and kind of a plus size model. I would say now compared to before, very confident and very comfortable. I'm still a human being and I still have emotions and doubts and I still have feelings and my feelings can still get hurt, but considering I spent like 26, 27 years being like, well, everyone called you fat your whole life, calling you ugly and like just being just extremely disrespectful just based on the fact that I'm fat. I couldn't live like that anymore. There's still moments where I look in the mirror and I'm just like, oh, your stomach could be smaller, your hips could be bigger, you could have a better body, and then I have to check myself and be like, no, yeah, you're fat, but just because society deemed it as wrong doesn't mean that it actually is, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'll stand in the mirror and just be like, oh, damn, like, I'm okay with all of this finally. So realistically, I would say about 85-90% of the time, I'm comfortable and I'm confident with everything that I have. And then that other 10-15% is just me being human and just having feelings, and sometimes things change, but I always have to remind myself that it's okay to be fat and I'm okay looking this way. Which doesn't matter if you're skinny, medium size, plus size, whatever. We're all human and we all have feelings. And it doesn't matter what you look like, you're still gonna be human. I know it's more appropriate to say plus size, but I like using the word fat because it's not a bad word to me, even though I know that some people will view it as a bad word. Personally, it's not. So yeah, I think it's still controversial that when you look at a fat woman or a fat man and they're totally confident and comfortable and happy, and people are like, but you're fat, you should be angry about that, you should want to change that, that's not right. And I know there's so much progress that's gone on with people being more inclusive and more acceptable and just being a little less disrespectful towards people that are confident, who aren't the skinny mold that you're supposed to be in. So even for the longest time, whether people or even men want to admit it or not, fat women have always been a fetish to a lot of men, and a lot of them have kind of kept it a secret. And the only way you'll really find out of those men that have a fat woman fetish is when they're sending you a message on Instagram or Facebook saying, oh, I love big women, they're so beautiful. And a lot of those men still, for some reason, especially when those men are in high school, they're kind of ashamed to say out loud, I don't care if they're skinny, I don't care if they're fat, I will like that person regardless. So even with all the progress that's been done, there's still a lot to work on. So I think half of the world views me as good for you. You're fat and you're comfortable and you're happy, you have confidence, that's beautiful, respect you for it. And the other half are you're fat, ugly, and disgusting and you should really do something about it. So it's definitely still 50-50. Yeah. Definitely 85% of my life even up until this day, but it's just until about 26, 27, constantly being made fun of for being fat. I hear it all the time. It's gotten to the point where it doesn't hurt my feelings anymore because I've heard it all before. I've heard all the fat jokes before. I've let it affect me so much in the past to the point where I believed everything that they said. And it took me way too long to realize that none of that is true. That yeah, I'm fat, but if I don't care, why do you care? You're not living in my body. You're not waking up every day as me. So what's the big deal? And I do hear a lot of fat jokes and everything still, and I always thought fat was a bad word. But again, it took me a really long time to realize that fat is not a bad word. It's just a word, and it's not negative to me anymore. Like, I've heard all the fat jokes. So when I hear fat jokes now, and I'm just like, oh, you're so original and creative, like, good for you, because I've never heard a fat joke before, because I've been fat my whole life. If you're gonna make fun of me, show your intelligence, show how creative you are. If you're gonna instantly go for fat jokes, those are the easiest insults known to mankind, is a fat joke. And they're not funny to me anymore. Well, they don't hurt my feelings anymore. Sometimes they are funny, and I'll be like, oh, good one. I haven't heard that before, and it's been like 27 years. Good for you. But I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt. I'm not gonna get mad at it anymore. Like, if your first instinct is to look at a fat person and be like, ha ha, you're fat, it's just like, ha ha, you have 20/20 vision. Good for you. Like, congratulations. Like, you can see me, because I can see me too. And it's really not a big deal anymore. It just shows how unintelligent and uncreative that individual is. That the first thing they see, oh, you're fat, I'm gonna list off a bunch of fat jokes. If you're gonna insult me, like, insult me. Like, dig deep, I wanna hear it. How intelligent are you? How creative are you? But really, people aren't that smart when it comes to insults, so they're gonna go for the easiest thing. And I've trained myself that when I hear a fat joke now, it's just like, oh, cool. That's the 20th time I've heard that. That's the 10th time, I've heard that. It's like, it's whatever now. For the longest time, it was the first thing I saw when I saw a picture of myself where I looked in the mirror. The first thing that my eyes went to was my double chin. Even though it's obviously not true, I looked at it as, it made my fatness more obvious, that like my face has this like big ball of fat hanging off of it. And truthfully, it wasn't until I was about like 26, 27 where I finally looked in the mirror, looked at my double chin and be like, you know what? That's pretty fucking cute. I think it's an adorable double chin. It makes Cydney, Cydney. And I personally look at it that it's the source of all of my talent and the source of all of my powers. That like, I wouldn't have comedic timing if I didn't have my double chin. I wouldn't have the personality I did if I didn't have this double chin. So instead of being angry about it, which I was for basically 90% of my life, I now look at it as something that it's really not a big deal. Just because I have a double chin doesn't mean that I'm ugly. I think it's cute. And personally, if I didn't have it, I think I would look really funny. I think I need it to like look normal. I had to convince myself to like it, and I did such a good job of it where I do genuinely appreciate it. It's fun, and I'm okay with it now. It reminds me of an episode of Friends where the joke that Chandler had a third nipple. And the end of the episode, he gets it removed because all the friends are making fun of him about it. And at the very end of the episode, something happens, Monica makes a joke, and Chandler's like, how did I not realize that joke? Like, I'm the one who says those jokes. And he literally says, he touches his chest and he's like, oh my God, it's the source of all my powers. And literally, when like rewatching it so many times, I'm just like, you know what? If I got rid of my double chin, I'm not going to be able to have that comedic timing anymore. And comedic timing is very important to me. I really appreciate the fact that the amount of people that follow me actually follow me. It surprises me, but I do really appreciate it. I do get a lot of messages from women that are like saying like, thank you for like being so confident and like showing it to all of us. I won't say any names because it's between me and them, but I've had lots of women message me and they'll tell me about like their anorexia and how amazing they think it is when they see me in there, and they're just like, I wish I could be bigger and have the confidence as you. I know it might sound kind of selfish, but it feels good knowing that what I'm trying to do is actually kind of working and people actually appreciate it. And it's made me feel a lot better too. Remember my very first photo shoot, I was literally sweating balls. I was so nervous and it was so awkward. I never liked pictures, and then randomly after life experiences, I was just like, I need to do this. And then when I got to the third one and fourth one, I started sweating even less and I started getting more comfortable, and I was like, this is perfect. So it's helped me, my confidence for myself, but it's also really good to know that there's women out there who look at my Instagram page and kind of appreciate and understand what I'm trying to do. I'm not just some woman who wants to dress in lingerie and post it on Instagram for attention. I do it for a purpose. Some people understand that purpose, some people don't. That's not my responsibility to explain it to those people who don't get it. It's my responsibility, I believe, to appreciate the people that do understand it, and to at least to say thank you for acknowledging what I'm doing, understanding why I'm doing it, and I've made a lot of Instagram friends through it, and it's fantastic. Some models who in my mind have that perfect beauty standard body, who still tell me oh, your confidence is through the roof, I wish I had that. And in my head, I'm like, if I had your body, I'd walk around naked every day. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then we go back and forth, and it's more even proof to me to open my eyes. Just because that person is skinny and has that perfect body doesn't mean they're fully confident and happy with themselves, because they're still a human being like me. So I really appreciate it. And again, I'm not doing it for attention. I'm doing it to express myself and to finally be comfortable and happy. And it's worked, and I really like it. And I really hope that one day I could be a plus size ambassador for a plus size clothing brand or something, so that more people can be like, oh, she has a double chin and she has an average body. She's glowing, look at her, I want to do that too. There's few people that I can look at for that, and I want to be that person for someone else. There's definitely a lot more inclusion, and you're seeing more body types and more people of color body types in, fashion ads and just regular ads and everything like that now. But the thing is, even the plus size models that you see today, the ones that are famous on Instagram, or the ones you see in these high fashion ads, they're always between the size 12 and 16. They all have unrealistic, modified, gigantic hips. They always have a big chest. Their stomach is still flat, and they have no double chins. So as much as it's progressed, there's you're still only at 25%. There's still the other 75% that you still need to go to. I have yet to see a plus size model with normal sized hips, a stomach, and a double chin. I want to see more plus size models that look more realistic and average like me, as opposed to the ones that no disrespect towards them, good for you, you're still considered a plus size model and you're killing it, and it's great and it's inspiring, and I love a lot of them. It's fantastic. There's still a certain standard that you have to fit to be a plus size model, and I don't fit that standard. So that's what one of my goals and one of my dreams is to be a plus size model. Almost like Tess Holliday. She does not fit the norm for a supermodel or a plus size supermodel. She has a stomach, she has a double chin, she's out there, she's big, she's a size 20, 22. We need more of those plus size models out there. because it's still not enough. It's going somewhere, but they're not close to being where they need to be. I love that. I've never smiled in pictures until like recently. So that's a lot of fun. I don't know what to say. I really, really like these. Oh, I love that one where I'm like looking off. That's beautiful. Oh my God. I love these. Thank you. Two major things I would tell myself, like, just because you're fat doesn't mean that you're not going to go anywhere in life, and it doesn't mean that you don't have any talent, because I always assumed that I didn't because of what everyone would say. Don't get sad or let it affect you to the point of like destruction when you hear all those guys making fun of you saying, oh, you're fat and ugly. Because about 10 years later, the majority of those guys are going to message you saying how attracted they are to you, how beautiful you are, and be like, oh, why didn't we hang out in high school? And like ask me out. And then I have the privilege of rejecting every single one of them. And not gonna lie, it felt fucking fantastic. Being like, you wanna know why we didn't hang around in high school? Because you called me fat and ugly. So why the fuck are you messaging me now saying how beautiful you think I am? Because if you think I'm beautiful now, that just means you were ashamed in high school to be attracted to a fat person. So thanks for the compliment. I know I'm beautiful. You have a good day. I'm not fucking hanging out with you. Which is great. They can all go fuck themselves. Sorry for swearing, but like, it feels good. Because I'd look at the name and be like, you bullied me in high school. What the hell do you want? It's been 10 years. And they say all this stuff and it's just like, oh, you can go to hell. So I would really love to tell my 16-year-old self that, because I know the 16-year-old Cydney would laugh hysterically and be like, oh, okay. I'll wait 10 years for that moment. I'm patient. I can do it. That's it.